Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshavayiti Namine Atimartale Charitraya Swashritanam Chapaline Jivadukhe Sutartaya Shinama Premadayine Gaurashraya Vigrahaya Krishna Kamaikacharine Rupanuga Pravaraya Vinodati Swarupine Prabhupadantarangaya Sarvasadgunashaline Mayavadamogdhaya Vedantartavade Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshavana Videvi Daitai Krishna Sambandha Vikyana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Jvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastate Se Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virodhapa Siddhanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshar Vairagya Murte Vipralambara Sambhade Padamba Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachirananda Bhani Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gaura Vibhava Bhumeswam Nirtasta Sachana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaitam Surato Pangor Mama Mandar Matekati Matsavasya Parambojo Shri Radha Madana Mohana Devyar Vindaranya Kapurdumadha Shri Maratnagara Simhasanasto Shri Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prasthalipi Sevyamanosmarami Shrimara Sarasarambe Vamshivatatatasthitaha Karshavani Usuner Gopir Gopinatha Shreyasuna Vrindaye Tulasitevyaye Priyaye Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatyaye Namo Namaha Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Shri Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Es página 23. Okay. Krishna hoite chaturmukha Hoya Krishna sevan mukha Rama hoite narate ramate Narada hoite vyasa Naraba he vyasa dasa Purna pragyan parmana bhagate Nehari marava vamse Akshobhya paramahanse Shishamboli angi karakare अक्षोभ्येरशिष्याञ्जय तीर्थनामे परिचय तरदस्य ज्ञानसिन्धुतारे तह हयते दयानिधि तरदास विद्यानिधि राजेन्द्र हईल ताहते तहरा किंकर जय धर्म नामे परिचय परंपरा जन भालो माते जय धर्म दास्य ख्याति श्री पुरुषोत्तम जति ताहते ब्रह्मण्य तीर्थसूरे व्यासते ततार दास लक्ष्मीपति व्यास दास ताहते मरवेन्द्रपुरे वार शिष्य वार शिष्यर नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत विभु ईश्वरपुरे के धन्य करिलेन श्री चैतन्य जगद्गुरु गौर महाप्रभु श्री चैतन्य राधा कृष्ण हे रूपानुगतन राजीवाना विश्वम्भर प्रियंकर श्री स्वरूप दामोदर श्री गोस्वामी रूप सनातन रूप प्रिय महाजन जीव रघुनाथन तर प्रिय कवे कृष्णदास कृष्णदास प्रिय वर नरोत्तम सेवा पर विश्वनाथ आश विश्वनाथ भक्त सत बलदेव जगन्नाथ तर प्रिय श्री भक्ति विनोदा महाभागवत वर श्री गौर किशोर वर हरि भजन तेजर मोदा शिव शभन विवर सर सेव्य सेवा पर तहर दैते दस नाम प्रभु पारंतरंग श्री स्वरूप रूपनुग श्री केशव भक्ति प्रज्ञान गौरिया वेदांत वेदामय वरद मोहंत गौरवाणी प्रचर धाम प्रचरिल गौरवाणी भक्ति वेदांत सम पुरायलो प्रभु पद काम केशव प्रिय महाजन वामनारायण हन गौरवाणी तर्पण धान हे सब हरिजन गौरंगेरा निज जन तदरा चिस्त मोरा काम गुरु परंपराम परंपराम गुरु परंपरा Page 36. वृंदावनवासी जातो वैष्णवेरा काना प्रथमे वंदना करे सबर चरणा नीलाचलवासी जातो महाप्रभुर कहना भूमिते पदिया वंद सभर चराना नवद्वीपवासी जातो महाप्रभुर Bhakta Sabhara Charana Bando Hayanuraka Mahaprabhu Bhakta Jatu Koradashastite Sabhara Charana Bando Kariya Pranati Jadashe Jadashe Paishe Korangera Gana Murbabahu Kori Bando Sabara Charana Hayachena Hai Bena Prabhu Jatadasa Sabhara Charana Bando Tante Kore Ghasha Brahmanda Tarita Shakti Dhare Jane Jane He Veda Purane Guna Gaya Jeba Sune Mahaprabhu Gana Sabha Patita Pavana Daya Labhe Moe Papiloe No Sharana Vandana Karite Moe Kata Shakti Dhare Tama Buddhi Dashe Moe Dhamba Matra Kare Mukhera Bhagya Manera Ulasha Dosak Sami Moa Dhame Kara Nija Dasa Sava Vancha Siddhi Hoy Yama Bhanda Chute Jagate Dhulabha Hoya Prema Dhana Lute Manera Vasana Purna Achirate Hoya Devaki Nandana Dasa Helo Bekaya Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav In Spanish? In English? Okay. Nice. First, first of all, I offer glorification at the feet of all the Vaishnavas who are residents of Vrindavan. Falling to the ground in prostration, I pray to the feet of Sriman Mahaprabhu's associates who are residents of Nilachal. Becoming filled Nilachala, becoming filled with loving attachment, I submit my glorification at the feet of Mahaprabhu's devotees who are residents of Navadvipa. Bowing down in obeisance, I pray to the feet of all Mahaprabhu's devotees who are situated in Gauda Desh. Raising my arms, I offer glorification at the feet of all Gauranga's associates, in which country they may reside. Holding a straw between my teeth, I submit my glorification at the feet of all the servants of Mahaprabhu, who ever were or will be. Each of his devotees possesses the power to deliver the entire universe. The Vedas and Puranas glorify this divine quality of the Vaishnavas who are all willing to listen. All the associates of Mahaprabhu are saviors of the fallen, so I, a sinner, fervently take shelter of them. What power do I have to glorify them? Afflicted by ignorance, I only exhibit conceit. Yet even one who is dumb, such as me, is greatly fortunate and joyful at heart to have an opportunity to glorify them. O Vaishnavas, forgive the faults of this fallen soul and make me your own servant. By the Vaishnav's mercy, one's desires are perfected. The fetters of Yam, the Lord of Death, are quickly released, and the treasure of Prem, which is rare within this world, is plundered and distributed. They quickly fulfill the heart's longings. With this in mind, Devaki Nandana utters this Vaishnav Vandana. Jai, Shri Devakinandana Das Ki Jai.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori Svaparshada Sviyadhama Sahavatari Antya Durlabha Prema Kori Baredana Atyanta Durlabha Prema Kori Baredana Shikaya Sharanagati Bakatera Prana Shikaya Sharanagati Bakatera Prana Dainya Atmani Vedana Goptritve Varana Avasya Rakshibe Krishna Vishvasapalana Bhakti Anukula Matra Karyera Svikara Bhakti Pralukula Bhava Vajranangikara Bhakti Pralukula Sadanga Saranagati Hoi Bejahara Tahara Prarthana Sune Shinanda Kumara Sanatana Pade Dante Krina Kori Rupa Sanatana Vakati Vinoda Padi Duhu Padadhori Kadia Kadia Bole Amito Adhara Shikaye Sharanagati Korohe Utama Shikaye Sharanagati Korohe Utama Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Vaishnava Thakur. Prabhu He, Prabhu He, Prabhu He, Jai Jai Prabhu He. Out of compassion for the living beings, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended this world along with his personal associates and divine devote. In order to bestow the extremely rare treasure of Prem Bhakti, he taught Sharanagati, which is the life and soul of the devotees. Humility, submission of the self, acceptance of the Lord as one's only maintainer, faith in Krishna's protection, acceptance of acts favorable for bhakti, and rejection of that which is unfavorable. Whoever embodies each of these 6 facets of Sharanagati has their prayers heard by the son of Nanda Maharaj. With a straw between his teeth, Bhaktivinoda prostrates before Shri Rupa and Shri Sanatan, embracing their lotus feet. Weeping, he says, I am the lowest of men. Kindly teach me unconditional surrender and make me an excellent Vaishnava. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai.
Which one?
I don't know much.
Yeah, I think I am seeing the movie.
You want to say?
No. That's one. Yeah, I'm reading.
Today, sometime today. Now Gora Bhajan. Is it okay, Hari Hari Bipale? Because there are Krishna and Gauranga, they are both mentioned. Then 100. Hari Hari Bipale Janama Goainu Hari Hari Bipale Janama Goainu Hari Hari Bipale Janama Goainu Hari Hari Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Nabojia Manusya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Janiya Suniya Vishakainu Oh Hari, my life passes uselessly. I have received this human birth, but by not performing bhajan of Shri Radha Krishna, I have knowingly drunk poison. Golokero premadana Harinama Sankirtana Golokero premadana Ratina Janvilo Kenetai Tina Jan Samsara Vishanale Divani Shiki Ajwale Samsara Vishanale Judaite na koi no pai Judaite na Why has attachment for Harinam Sankirtan, Golok Vrindavan, and treasure of divine love not awakened within me? Day and night, my heart burns in the poisonous fire of material existence, and I have no means to alleviate it. Vrajendra Nadanaji Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Vrajendra Nadanaji Balarama Hoilo Honitai Balarama Hoilo Nitai Balarama Hoilo Nitai Balarama Hoilo nitai. Balarama hoiloni tai. Balarama hoiloni tai. Dina hina jato chilo. Hari name udarilo. Dina hina jata chilo. Tara Sakshi Jagai Madai. Tara Sakshi The son of the king of Raj has become the son of Sachi Devi, and Balaram has become Nitai. Through Harinam, they have delivered all those who were fallen and wretched. Jaga and Madai are testament to this fact. Amarakaha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Jutam. Akaha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Yutam. Karuna koro e baro. Narotamo dasakoi naheri borangapai. Toma vine ke ache amar. Toma vine ke ache amar. Jaya Nitai Gorango, Jaya Nitai Gorango, Nitai Gorango, Jaya Nitai Gorango. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. Narottam Das says, O my Lord, son of Nanda Maharaj, accompanied by the daughter of Rishabhanu Maharaj, be merciful to me at last. Do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet. Other than you, who is mine? Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai.
Jaya Jaya Harinam Chidanandamritadam Paratatva Aksharakara Chidanandamritadam Akara Nija Jane Kripa Kori Namarupe Avatari Kripa Kori Jive Joya Kori Leya Para Apara Jaya Hari Krishna Nam Jagajana Suvishram Sarvajana Mana Saranjana Muni Vrinda Nirantara Jaina Mera Samadara Kori Gaya Bodhiya Vadana Oh hey Krishna Nama Akshara Tumi Sarva Shakti Dora Jivera Kalyana Vitarane Tomavina Bhava Sindhu Udarite Nahi Bandhu Rite Nahi Bandhu Asiya Jiva Udarane Parane Achetapa Jive Jato Tumi Sabakoro Hata Helaya Tomare Kabara Takeya kono jana Oye dina kinchana Nahi deki anya pratikara Vikara Tava Swapa Spurti Pai Ugra Tapa Dure Jai Linga Banga Hoya Anayase Vakati Vinoda Koya Jaya Harinama Jaya Pade Taki Tua Pada Ashe Ashe Jaya Jaya Harinam Chidananda Mritadam Paratatva Akshara Kara Kara Nija Jane Kripa Kori Nama Rupe Avatari Jive Joya Kori Leya Para Jaya Hari Nama Jaya Hari Nama Hari Nama Jaya Hari Nama Hari Nama Jaya Hari Nama all glories to Harinam, the abode of the nectar of divine knowledge and bliss, and the supreme truth in the form of syllables. Out of mercy for his devotees, he descended in the form of his names, and thus showed vast compassion to all the living beings. All glories to the holy names of Hari and Krishna, which are the sublime shelter for the living entities of the world, and which delight the minds of all. Hosts of great sages, who have true honor for those names, eternally sing them, filling their mouths with Nam. O syllables of Krishna's name, you possess all powers to bestow auspiciousness upon the living beings. Without you, there's no other friend to deliver us from the ocean of material existence. Indeed, you have come to deliver all jivas. You dispel whatever misery afflicts the jiva. If he, feeling himself poor and insignificant, and seeing no other remedy, calls your name one time, even out of impulse, if one obtains even a momentary vision of you, then all sorts of terrible miseries disappear and one's gross and subtle bodies are easily destroyed. Bhaktivinoda says, all glories to the holy names of Sri Hari. I prostrate myself in hopes of attaining your lotus feet. Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki.
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Vrinda Vipineshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Vrishabhanudani Navashashileke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vrishabhanudadi Navashashileke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Borite Sanaka Sanatana Varanita Charite.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. Between the two of you, because you're mostly here, and you know how to work that, right? Can you learn? Yeah. All right, yes, if you can learn. No. It's hard to keep up. Robin, you're always here. Can you learn? Okay. Oh, Sumuki, yeah. All right. Hare Krishna. Hmm? Why? No, that's not good. We have to start all over. Okay. Can you make a note? Can you say something? No? All right. Sorry for the 45 minutes of silence, everybody. We were having technical difficulties. Ajnanam timirandasya jnananjana salakaya chaksurunmilitam yena tasmai. Can you fix that? The camera. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tudalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Yang Pravajan Manupedamapeda Krityam Dvaipayano Viraga Taruaju Pudri Ditan Mayataya Taruvubinidus Tam Sarvabu Tarhidayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktavina Aparada Lakshay Chaptasya Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripamaitam Sharanam Papadyam Vrindenam Stejadana Ravindam Tavavasmi Najivami Priti Vigyaya Radhe Tanmayamam Charanantike. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev Nichilila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotru Sat Shishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev Nichilila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotru Sat Shishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our grandfather Guru Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees. And the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus or my Shiksha Gurus, Shishimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava, Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Ban Maharaj, and Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. Where are we today? Where in Navadvip are we? Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math. And we are absorbed, totally absorbed in the pastimes of the Lord, which are recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is his childhood pastimes, chapter 14, Adi Lila. First, we want to commend the speakers of yesterday, Raga Dasi and Karunamayi Dasi and Kunji Bihari Prabhu, and then in the evening, Haridas Prabhu and Gadagaja Prabhu. They all spoke very excellently. And we got a lot of nourishment and knowledge from that. So yesterday evening, while the table for the Abhishek was being brought in, I read one pastime of the Lord when he's in his youthful pastimes from 5 to 10, Poganda Lila. Sometimes when he was playing with his friends, he would also tease the girls who were on the bank of the Ganges River worshiping Lord Shiva in order to get a good husband. So for the fun of teasing them, he said, don't worship the demigods. The demigods are my servants. I am the Supreme Lord, and all those offerings of sweets, bananas, rice, it's all really for me. And so they didn't pay attention to him, so he just grabbed everything and started eating everything and said, so because you've given this all to me, now you'll all have handsome young husbands, and you'll have so many children by them. But then when they expressed anger, he said, okay, then I curse you, that you're going to get an old husband who already has 4 co-wives. So even though they pretended to be angry, they were in bliss. And they brought the offerings before the Lord, who ate them and blessed them to their satisfaction. So when this cunning behavior of the Lord with the girls became known to the people in general, it did not create any misunderstanding, because everyone enjoyed his pastimes. Just like with Krishna, when he would steal butter and yogurt, everyone would experience sublime bliss, even though they the neighbors pretended to be angry. So that's where I left off, and Vasanti is going to take over from here. And the live stream camera is going to show her big on the screen. She came to this material world to be shown big on the screen. Also, when one speaks, if he's big on the screen, his voice has more impact than if he's far away and just tiny in the screen. And she's going to say her mantras loud. I You can have this one, just take this one. It's very steady.
Just backtracking a little bit to Nimai as a baby. Something in Chaitanya Bhagavat that I read that I thought was really funny was that the demigods came as everyone was so elated, around baby Nimai, and so the demigods wanted to be there too. So they came disguised as regular devotees, and they would just kind of, and they would make themselves invisible, and they would move around and make noise and move around the house, and all the Jagannath Mishra, everyone would get so scared, and they would start singing and singing like the Shingade prayers, and then the demigods would giggle and laugh together, and then they would like giggle because they were so jovial that they would then love to play this trick on all the people surrounding Nimai. And then finally someone said, I don't know. So Jagannath Mishra, they thought it was a thief, and they were yelling, Nishinga, Nishinga. And then they said, we'll get you. We're going to get you next time. So, and also something really sweet I thought was that his brother Vishwarup would pick him up and hold him like a baby and smile at him. Okay, we're jumping ahead now to the pastime of Lakshmi Devi, his first wife. One day, a girl of the name Lakshmi, the daughter of Balabhacharya, came to the bank of the Ganges to take bath in the river and worship the demigods. And it's going to be hard to translate. Okay. Very simple, but essence. Yeah, Jay. Seeing Lakshmi Devi, the Lord became attached to her, and Lakshmi, upon seeing the Lord, felt great satisfaction within her mind. Their natural love for one another awakened, and although it was covered by childhood emotions, it became apparent that they were mutually attracted. They both enjoyed natural pleasure in seeing one another, and under the pretext of demigod worship, they manifested their feelings. The Lord told Lakshmi, just worship me, for I am the Supreme Lord. If you worship me, certainly you will get the benediction you desire. On hearing the order of the Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lakshmi immediately worshipped him, offering sandalwood pulp and flowers for his body, garlanding him with malika flowers, and offering prayers to the Lord. Being worshipped by Lakshmi, the Lord began to smile. He recited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and thus accepted the emotion she expressed. It's from 10th Canto, Bhagavatam. My dear gopis, I accept your desire to have me as your husband, and thus worship me. I wish your desire to be fulfilled because it deserves to be so. After thus expressing their feelings to one another, Lord Chaitanya and Lakshmi returned home. Who can understand the grave pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Seeing the naughty behavior of Lord Chaitanya, the neighboring people, out of love for him, lodged complaints with Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra. One day, Mother Sachi, wanting to rebuke her son, went to catch him, but he fled from the spot. Although he is the maintainer of the entire universe, once the Lord, oh, here's the rejected pot pastime. Did it tell in here how he would sometimes, didn't he, when he urinate in like the pantry? Huh? You know, huh? Krishna do that, but did Mahaprabhu do that too? Okay, so here's a famous pot pastime. Although he's the maintainer of the universe, once the Lord sat upon some rejected pots in the pit where the remnants of foodstuffs were thrown, after they had been used for cooking. When Mother Sachi saw her boy sitting on the rejected pots, she protested, "Why have you touched these untouchable pots? You have now become impure. Go and bathe in the Ganga." Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught his mother about absolute knowledge. Although amazed by this, his mother forced him to take a bath. Sometime, that's it. Purport, yeah. Purport. The absolute knowledge explained by the Lord to his mother is described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya as follows. The Lord said, "Mother, that this is pure and that is impure is surely a worldly sentiment with no basis in fact. You have cooked foodstuffs for Lord Vishnu within these pots and offered the foodstuffs to him. How then can these pots be untouchable? Everything in relationship with Vishnu is to be considered the expansion of Vishnu's energy. Vishnu, the Supersoul, is eternal and uncontaminated. How then may these pots be considered pure or impure?" Hearing this discourse on absolute knowledge, his mother was very much astonished and forced him to take bath. Would you like to expand on that?
Well, the thing is, I don't really know why the pots were considered impure.
They were thrown in a pit, right?
They were thrown in a pit of rejected pots, but I don't know why they were rejected, because unless somebody eats out of them, do you know?
I thought it was because they would use brand new pots every single time.
It seems like that,
I think I remember hearing that in the audiobook.
but why? Can you find that perhaps? Audiobook?
I can try.
I'm sure, you see, we're finding that the pastimes mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita are more elaborately discussed in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. And so Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is touching them. And then he spends more time in the Sannyas Leela, expanding those Leela, which Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur barely touched in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So unless somebody ate out of them, I can't understand why it would be considered rejected. But we can inquire and then get back to you, especially if Raga, who's expert in Chaitanya Bhagavat, can find that place there.
got it? Well, I can, if you go on BVLMU, the whole Chaitanya Bhagavat is there. Yeah. And oh, yeah. I think- Okay. Sometimes seeing her son with her, taking her son with her, Mother Sachi would lie down on her bed and she would see the denizens of the celestial world had come there, filling the entire house. Once, Mother Sachi told the Lord, "Please go call your father." Receiving this order from his mother, the Lord went out to call him. When the child was going out, there was a tinkling of ankle bells from his lotus feet. Hearing this, his father and mother were struck with wonder. Jagannath Mishra said, "This is a very wonderful incident. Why is there a sound of ankle bells from the bare feet of my child?" Mother Sachi said, I also saw another wonder. People were coming down from the celestial kingdom and crowding the entire courtyard. They made noisy sounds I could not understand. I guess they were offering prayers to someone. Jagannath Mishra replied, "Never mind what it is. There's no need to worry. Let there always be good fortune for Vishwambar. This is all I want." Do you want to go back to the pot?
Okay. It just shows one verse at a time and then you have to press next.
Using those rejected pots as Singhasan, Lord Gaurasundar smiled as he sat there. Where's next?
Top right.
The black soot from those pots decorated Gaur's limbs, and he appeared like a golden doll, smeared with sandalwood pulp mixed with aguru. His friends went and informed Mother Sachi, "Nimai is sitting on the rejected pots." When Mother Sachi went there and saw Nimai in that condition, she lamented and said, "My dear son, this is not a proper place to sit." "These are rejected pots, and if one touches them, he must take bath. Haven't you understood this by now?" The Lord replied, "You don't allow me to study, so how will I know the difference between good and bad, or a fool and a Brahmin?"
They were afraid that if he would study, then the same thing that happened
To Vishwaru,
which is that he became so full of knowledge, he realized the uselessness of the material world and left for taking some more.
I'm a fool, so I don't know which place is good and which is bad. Therefore, I consider all equal. Although saying this, the Lord smiled from his seat on the rejected pots and accepted the mood of Dattatreya, the topmost knower of the absolute truth. Yeah. The purport there is the great sage Atri prayed for offspring, and the Lord, being satisfied with him, promised to incarnate as Atri's son Dattatreya. And by the grace of the lotus feet of the Lord, many yadus, hahayas, etc. became so purified that they obtained both material and spiritual blessings. Well,
Previous
yeah.
one about the pots.
No, it just talks about like what words mean.
I'll have to inquire. I'll inquire and get back to you. It sounds like it could be the black soot.
Okay, where are we? On another occasion, Jagannath Mishra, seeing the mischievous acts of his son, gave him lessons in morality after rebuking him greatly. On that very night, Jagannath Mishra dreamt that a Brahmin had come before him, speaking these words in great anger. My dear Mishra, you do not know anything about your son. You think him your son, and therefore you rebuke him and chastise him. Jagannath Mishra replied, this boy may be a demigod, a mystic yogi, or a great saintly person. It doesn't matter what he is, for I think he is only my son. It is the duty of a father to educate his son in both religion and morality. If I do not give him this education, how will he know it? The Brahmin replied, if your son is a transcendental mystic boy with self-effulgent, perfect knowledge, what is the use of your education? Jagannath Mishra replied, even if my son is not a common man, but Narayan, still it is a duty of a father to instruct his son. In this way, Jagannath Mishra and the Brahmin discussed the principles of religion in the dream. Yet Jagannath Mishra was absorbed, an unalloyed parental mellow, and did not want to know anything else. Being very much pleased, the Brahmin left after talking with Jagannath Mishra, and when Jagannath Mishra awakened from his dream, he was very much astonished. He related the dream to his friends and relatives, and every one of them was very much astonished to hear of it. In this way, Gaurahari performed his childhood pastimes and day after day increased the pleasure of his parents. After some days, Jagannath Mishra inaugurated the primary education of his son by performing the Hati Kadi ceremony. Within very few days, the Lord learned all the letters and combinations of letters. The Hati Kadi is the primary educational beginning. This is a synopsis of the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, placed herewith in chronological order. Vrindavan Thakur has already elaborately explained these pastimes in his book, Chaitanya Bhagavat. I have therefore made only a brief summary. Being afraid of repetition, I have not elaborated upon this subject matter. Praying to the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Poganda Lila? Okay. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, because simply by offering a sumanas flower at his lotus feet, even the most ardent materialist becomes a devotee. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Let me now enumerate the activities of the Lord between the ages of 5 and 10. His chief occupation during this period was to engage himself in study. The pastimes of the Lord during his Poganda age were very extensive. His education was his chief occupation, and after that, his very beautiful marriage took place. When the Lord was studying grammar at the place of Gangadas Pandit, he would immediately learn grammatical rules and definitions by heart, simply by hearing them once. He soon became so expert in commenting on the Panjitika that he could win victory over all the other students, although he was a neophyte. In his book Chaitanya Mangala, which later became known Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur very elaborately described the Lord pastimes of study. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell down at the feet of his mother and requested her to give him one thing in charity. His mother replied, "My dear son, I will give you whatever you ask." Then the Lord said, "My dear mother," Please do not eat grains on the Ekadasi day. Mother Sachi said, "You have spoken very nicely. I shall not eat grains on Ekadasi." From that day, she began to observe fasting on Ekadasi. Yeah. Purport. It is a prejudice amongst Smarta Brahmins that a widow must observe fasting on Ekadasi, but a woman who has her husband should not. It appears that before the request of Lord Chaitanya, Sachimata was not observing Ekadasi because of her being Sadhava, which means that her husband was living. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, introduced the system that a woman, even if not a widow, must observe the Ekadasi day and must not touch any kind of grain, even those offered to the deity of Vishnu. Thereafter, seeing Vishwarup, a grown-up youth, Jagannath Mishra wanted to find a girl and arrange a marriage ceremony for him. Hearing of this, Vishwarup immediately left home and went away to accept sannyas and traveled from one place of pilgrimage to another. When Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra heard of the departure of their eldest son, Vishwarup, they were very unhappy. But Lord Chaitanya tried to console them. "My dear mother and father," the Lord said, "it is very good that Vishwarup has accepted the sannyas order, for thus he has delivered both his father's family and his mother's family." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assured his parents that he would serve them, and thus the minds of his father and mother were satisfied. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate betel nuts offered to the deity, but they acted as an intoxicant, and he fell down on the ground unconscious. After his father and mother sprinkled water on his mouth with great haste, the Lord revived and said something wonderful that they had never heard before. The Lord said, "Vishwarup took me away from here, and he requested me to accept the sannyas order." I replied to Vishwarup, "I have my helpless father and mother, and also I am but a child. What do I know about the sannyas order of life?" Jai. "Later I shall become a householder and thus serve my parents, for this action will very much satisfy Lord Narayan and his wife, the goddess of fortune." Then Vishwarup returned me home and requested, "Offer thousands and thousands of obeisances unto my mother Sachi Devi." In this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed various pastimes, but why he did so, I cannot understand. After some days, Jagannath Mishra passed away from this world to the transcendental world, and both mother and son were very much aggrieved in their hearts. Friends and relatives came there to pacify them. Lord Chaitanya and his mother, then Lord Chaitanya, even though he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, executed the rituals for his dead father according to the Vedic system. After some days, the Lord thought, "I did not take sannyas, and since I am remaining at home, it is my duty to act as a grihasta." Without a wife, Lord Chaitanya considered, there is no meaning to householder life. Thus, the Lord decided to marry. Merely a house is not a home, for it is a wife who gives a home its meaning. If one lives at home with his wife, together they can fulfill all the interests of human life. One day, while the Lord was coming back from school, he accidentally saw the daughter of Balabhacharya on the way to the Ganges. When the Lord and Lakshmi Devi met, their relationship awakened, having already been settled, and coincidentally the marriage maker, Vanamali, came to see Sachimata. Settled. Following the indications of Sachi Devi, Vanamali Ghataka arranged the marriage, and thus in due course the Lord married Lakshmi Devi. Vrindavan Das Thakur has elaborately described all these pastimes of the Lord's early age. What I have given is but a condensed representation of the same pastimes. The Lord performed many varieties of pastimes in his early age, and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has described them elaborately. I have given but a single hint of these pastimes, for Vrindavan Das Thakur in the book Chaitanya Mangala, now Chaitanya Bhagavat, has described them all vividly. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Yeah, Nikunja has a Puri pastime he wants to share. She's not coming down. Jai Shri Nimai Pandit Ki.
Om Aganyati Mirandasya Janajala Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gyananjala Sri Gyananjana Jai.
What?
Thank you. I offer my heartfelt, infinite obeisance at the dust of the lotus feet of my spiritual master,
Haribol, Haribol.
Srimati Shamarani Goswamini, my Param Guru Devs, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So, today I'll be speaking Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela chapter 18, the pastimes with the fishermen. So it was an autumn evening under a full moon in Jagannath Puri, where Mahaprabhu was walking with his devotees near the sea. They had spent the night in the garden singing, dancing in ecstasy, reliving the pastimes of Rasa Leela. And in doing so, a verse was recited about Krishna entering the Jamuna with his gopis, like a great elephant leading his herd into the water. And that imagery awakened something in the heart of Mahaprabhu. And as he looked out into the ocean, the moonlight was dancing on the waves, and he was filled with the anguish of separation. And so to him, the sea became the Jamuna. And so he ran and he jumped in and was swallowed by the water. And the devotees turned around and suddenly he was gone. After this, they searched all night and could not find Mahaprabhu. Just darkness, the sound of the waves, and the weight of not knowing. They were very, very distraught. By morning, they were beginning to really be quite concerned. And then, on the beach, they found a fisherman, a simple fisherman, that was laughing, crying, dancing, and chanting the Lord's holy names. And funny enough, even though he was a simple night fisherman and he didn't know Vaishnava philosophy, the Mahamantra had somehow entered him. He then told them that that evening he pulled a corpse from the water, a huge body, skin was slack, joints separated, and it says 5 to 7 cubits, which is like over 10 feet tall. Massive. And so, he said that when he touched it, a ghost had entered him, and that he was very, very scared, this ghost of this ecstasy that he was experiencing the holy names. So Swarup Damodar immediately understood, and he slapped the fisherman, and from there he chanted Hare Krishna and said, "This is no ghost, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead that you have encountered." And so they found Mahaprabhu on the sand. He was bleached white and incredibly transformed. His body was so consumed that with the divine love and being in the ocean that it was totally against the rules of ordinary existence. And they laid on him a cloth and chanted the holy names into his ear, and he slowly was coming back to consciousness. He woke, speaking with great enthusiasm, describing in detail the vivid pastimes, the water pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, the gopis hiding their faces amongst the lotuses, Krishna expanding into many different forms, and the play of the lotuses as well. Finally, Radha and Krishna resting while the gopis fanned them. He was fully immersed in experiencing this pastime. When he fully returned to external consciousness, his first response was grief. Where is the Jamuna? Where is Vrindavan? You have broken my dream. So what do we take from this? I think of it like, in my limited understanding, the advent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like an expanding ocean of nectar, and one who does not collect the valuable jewels within this ocean is certainly the poorest of the poor. And so I think about a few weeks ago I went swimming in the ocean, just a few miles, maybe like 2 miles. And it's the first time in a long time I had gone swimming. Yeah. And anyway, it was the first time in a long time I had gone swimming, and I realized in the waves, any piece of seaweed touched me, fully expecting it would be my end. We have absolutely no chance in the material ocean, is what I realized, swimming like that. It was very arduous. And really, we have to fully jump into the ocean of mercy that Mahaprabhu is presenting to us with full confidence and faith, even though we may not have full understanding or qualification like the fishermen. It is something that is beyond our material understanding, and it requires, of course, faith and courage, but if we fail to jump in and experience this ocean, then we are very poor. And similarly, the Lord Mahaprabhu is so transcendental and incredible to be able to go into this material ocean, exemplifying for us exactly how to transcend. And even in such an incredible and austere and dangerous Leela, he comes out with such emotion and such beauty. So let's all jump in. Hare Hare Krishna. That's all I have. Divakar? Mine? No.
Selected one. I made one Word format, and it's on my USB.
It's not something you can search.
He took his own notes,
I know, but we don't have the USB,
right?
so I was thinking maybe he could find it quickly.
Find his own notes.
Oh, no, right.
It's from Chaitanya Bhagavat, actually,
Oh, we have Chaitanya Bhagavat.
with Sanskrit,
Yeah,
but Bengali actually.
but, what do you
No,
use that other
find
one?
it, it's Bhagavat.
We have all 5 to 6 volumes.
Can you hear me well?
The ones that are
No, it's down,
down here?
maybe down there. 5 volumes in a row.
Okay, good.
No, it's not on the side.
While we're waiting,
Right, I'll throw it up.
you know what happened after that?
No.
Yes, it is.
But if you read it, you know, next time we have a class, I'll call you.
Tomorrow?
That's, Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Yes, okay, problem solved. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Pada Radhikaya Pratmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayati Namane Shri Krishna Ravakatane Sudaksha Madhura Madhura Guneshchuktam Varam Varenya Purusha Mahantam Narantva Shirasana Mami Trinadina Bhakta Shri Manicha Shri Krishna Padabjarite Kakridi Chaitara Ramita Sarasaram Narantva Satatam Prapadi. I offer my most humble obeisances to my Guru Pada Padma, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, to my Shiksha Gurus, Srila Tishamarani Devi Guru Mata and Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj, to Param Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj, the whole Guru Varga Guru Parampara, and to all assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Can you please give me the phone? Yes. So, many topics, almost all topics about pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were already revealed these days, very intensely and very in every detail. So I didn't know what to do, and I chose one part. We heard yesterday about deliverance of Jaga and Madai. So this will be just one little sequel after that pastime. And I will try to do it in Padavali Kirtan way. So that means I will sing and I will meanwhile read the translation of those verses. If somebody wants to play cartels, please. So as we know, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered Jaga and Madai. And then what happened? Prabhu Bale Uta Uta Jaga Madai Hoya Maradasa Archintanai. The Lord said, get up, Jaga and Madai. Do not worry, for you are my servants. Tumi duiata kichu kariles tavam. Tumi dui jata kichu kariles tavam. Paramasu satya kichu nahai kandam. Paramasu satya kichu nahakandam. The prayers that you have offered are certainly true. No one can refute them. He sharire kabu karo he nahi hai. Nityananda prasade se janika nishchay. What you have experienced is not possible in these bodies. Know for certain that this was simply due to Nityananda's mercy. Thomas Sabarajata Papa Munini Sava Sakshate Dekanabhayi Anubhava. I have personally taken charge of your sinful reactions. All brothers, see for yourselves. Dui jana sharire patak nahiya. Dui jana sharire patak nahiya. Iha pujaite hoya kaliyaka. In order to demonstrate that there were no more sins remaining in the bodies of those two, the Lord's body turned blackish. Prabhu vale tomara mare dekha kena Advaita boya Shri Gokul Chandra yena. The Lord said, how do I look? Advaita replied, you look just like Gokula Chandra. Advaita Prativa Shuni Khase Vishwambar. Advaita Prativa Shuni Khase Vishwambar. Hari Boli Dvani Kare Sada Anucha. On hearing Advaita's comment, Vishwambar smiled, and all the devotees chanted the name of Hari. Prabhu vole kala dekha duira patake kirtana karaha sama yokanindake. The Lord said, see how these two sinners are black. Perform kirtan so that their sins take shelter in those who blaspheme devotees. Shuniya Prabhuravakya Sabara Ulasa Mahanande Hoilo Kirtana Prakash. Hearing the Lord's words, everyone became jubilant. Then they began to perform kirtan in ecstasy. I'm almost finished. Almost. Nache Prabhu Vishwambara Nityananda Range Vediya Vaishnava Sabhaya Sagaya Range. Lord Vishwambar danced with Nityananda, and all the Vaishnavas surrounding them and sang the glories of the Lord. Nachaye Advaita Jaga Lagi Avatara Yahara Katane Khaila Jagata Udara. Advaita also danced. He had induced the Lord to incarnate and thus deliver the entire world. Kirtana haraye sabediya karatali Sabai korena nritya khaye kotali. As they performed kirtan, everyone clapped with their hands and danced jubilantly. प्रभु प्रतिमा नंदे kao nahi bahaya Prabhu sange kata laksha teladeti haya. They felt no fear and they bumped into the Lord thousands of times in their ecstasy. Vadu sange deke ai gare rabitare vasiya basare ai ananda sagare. Mother Shachi and her daughters-in-law floated in an ocean of ecstasy, and they watched everything from within the house. Sabe Paramananda Dekiya Prakasha Kahara Naguche Krishna Veshera Ulasa. Everybody was filled with ecstasy after seeing this pastime. Their aesthetic love for Krishna was uninterrupted. Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Shri Nitai Gaur Sundar Ki Jai.
What it could do is go like this. The legs won't fit, but I can work on something else, figuring out something.